All right. So thank you guys so much for being on. I am super, super pumped for our guest speaker tonight because I just loved her. We met at our leadership retreat and kind of one of those like instant besties kind of moments. Like we were sitting at the same table doing this round table and we like both bust out our flare pens and we were like, oh, you used to be a teacher too? Okay. So like, I don't know. It was just this weird moment. And then we just hung out that whole night. Also, our husbands, now we can say that, are both named Zach. So we thought that was really fun. So anyways, Caitlin is going to be chatting tonight with us, and her name is Caitlin Brown now. Thank goodness I don't have to say Douchman. Douchman? Is that how you say it?
Deutschman, which is really good why it's different now because when seventh grade hit and it turned into like the jokes about doucheman, I'm cool with Brown.
So sorry. Totally butchered it. I did it. I
It's
did
okay.
like
It's
the joke.
okay.
So anyways, Caitlin is a Success Club 10 All-Star legend, which means that she has been in Success Club for a minimum of 24 months in a row. She is a two-time elite coach with last year and this year already meeting the qualification for elite, a 6-star diamond in her first business center, and then a 1-star in her second business center. She is a retired teacher, but also a dog mom. I'm not even sure what kind of dog you have, so you might have to fill us in a little bit on your dog. And a new wife. She actually got married the beginning of November. I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah,
November
on the
3rd?
third. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So, anyways, she's going to be sharing a little bit of her story with us tonight, a little bit of kind of how she saw that success pretty early in her business. And I've got notebook, paper, so make sure that you guys have something to write some notes down with. So, Caitlin, you are welcome to take it away.
Yes. Thank you, Megan. I'm so excited. Like Megan said, when I met her at both of us, it was our first time qualifying for leadership, which is the 5-star and above weekend. And yeah, exact. And that's like one of the things I love about this business is like you meet the coolest people while doing the coolest job. So I'm super excited, and congratulations to your team as well for locking in those qualifications for elite, because that's the thing, you guys, to remember with those goals of you can't be an elite coach, you can't be an elite team if you don't have the tribe with you to do that. So it's definitely a huge accomplishment. So congratulations to everybody here with that as well. So like Megan said, I am recently married, just got married on the 3rd, and I'm in like the first 6 months of working my business full time. So like I said, or Megan said, I was a middle school teacher and also taught 3rd grade. So those are the 2 grades I taught, was 6th grade and 3rd grade for 4 years before I decided to walk away from teaching and come be a full-time coach. And so as I'm going through this, I'm going to, tell my story a little bit and give you guys some tactical things to take away. But what I would love is as I'm chatting, I'm a talker, and I love when it feels like a conversation and I'm not talking at someone. So please like jump into the chat box and like, let's have this be a convo that way as I kind of go, because I love knowing like how we resonate with each other too. So I'm 27, and like I said, so I was a teacher before this, and when I started coaching and how the coaching part of Beachbody came into my life was purely wanting the accountability that came with being a coach. So, probably like a year before that, I was how many of you ordered off an infomercial? I ordered 21 Day Fix off of an infomercial. They totally got me. And at the time I was a huge runner and I was running marathons and all that, like the full one. But they, I just needed the eating part. So I opened up the box and I looked at it and I tried to meal prep and I was like, what the heck are these tiny little boxes? I hated it. I put it away. I thought Shakeology was disgusting. Put it away until I saw, maybe a year and a half later, whatever it was, my coach posting about this 21-day fix challenge group. So I hopped in, and that's the thing, you guys, is right now, you might be on this call and it might be, I want accountability, and that's okay, because what's so cool about coaching, if you continue on this journey, and you should continue on this journey, is that you don't know where it will land you, and that's really exciting. And I just knew, not even, how people say, let's have an honest moment here. You know how we hear people say, they're like, I want accountability because I know my challengers are waiting for me. Yeah, but how much more is it that you want to not be that girl who does this for 5 seconds and posts a sweaty selfie and then people know that you quit? That to me was more no, I'm never quitting because I don't want people to see me that way. So started that way. But from the very start, like Megan said, I have the very first month I was a coach, I hit SC8. And then from then on, it was always 10. I'm in my 39th month of SC10 or higher. And it's more than that usually now. And I don't say that to brag, but I say that, you guys, because for me, that was something I knew, Success Club is the foundation of this business. If you're not hitting at least Success Club 6, getting those 3 people every month, your challenge groups are going to die off, and you're not going to have people to invite to this opportunity of the coaching side of it. So for me, also, it makes a fun challenge group, right? People burn out sometimes. So, making that Success Club, as you probably already know, that foundation of your business. And I just wanted that accountability, and I wanted to be good at it. So what I did from the start was I was obsessed with the national wake-up calls, which I'm sure you guys listen every week. But I just listened to them over and over again. And if I was a new coach now, and what I tell my new coaches to listen to now, I'm if you have 2 podcasts, it's got to be the National Wake Up Call and freaking Melanie Mitro. How many of you listen to the Melanie podcast? Yeah, they're so good. And so what started to happen, remember, I started for accountability, but the way that it shifted, it's how do you go from wanting to be accountable to now, running a 6-figure business and retiring yourself at 27 to do this job? Well, it was by hearing others' stories and by hearing other people. And if you witness success enough, success is going to follow you, right? And you become the company that you keep. We know that you're most like the 5 people you're around. Well, make those 5 people that you're around the people that are successful on these podcasts, right? So I just kept listening, and I just kept thinking, what if I just kept going? I'd hear of these coaches or these people doing these crazy awesome things. And I was like, well, maybe I could do that. But I was a teacher. How many of you are teachers on this call? Raise your hand up. Okay. So we're going to have a little teacher talk here. Why is it that we all have a freaking savior complex? I'm going to be the teacher that comes in and is the Robin Williams of, well, maybe not Robin Williams because he's a dude, but you know what I mean? And it was so ingrained in me. So I'd hear these things and I'd start to gain this belief that maybe I could do that. But then I would take 2 steps back and be like, no, but this is my path. This is where I'm supposed to go. So I just decided to work hard and do it as a really fun side hustle. As I kept going, I'm someone who I was seeing those success along with work, right? You're not going to get an accolade like elite without putting in that work with it, right? And so what I want you guys to remember is that you decide your accomplishments or your limits with this business, okay? With anything in life, you're going to determine your outcome of what you get. And that's the thing, you guys, is that it is hard work to become a diamond coach, a 2-star coach, a 5-star, an elite team. But you can decide that. And it was one of those things, for example, hitting Success Club for you right now might be a huge roadblock. And it was I hit those first 3 months of hitting the Success Starter, and then it was SC10. And I was like, well, that's just the bar. That's just what I'm going to do. And you guys can decide that. And I think that that's really cool because there's a lot of things in life that you don't get a choice in, but you can completely decide how your business looks, how big you make it, what kind of accolades you get, what kind of people you bring onto your team. And that, I think, is just so amazing. So let's fast forward a little bit. I was teaching, I was coaching, and the original school that I worked at, the year that coaching came in and I became a coach was the same year I moved grade levels. Again, where are my teachers at? you know what it's like to move grade levels, right? And I moved from 6th grade to 3rd grade, and I hated 3rd graders. I can say that now, like they're the worst. If you have a 3rd grader at home, bless your heart. But it was like a brand new job. And then I threw coaching on. I started coaching like September 1st. So when you guys, again, you determine your success or your accomplishments, or you decide your limits, I could have easily to my coach been like, well, it's a new grade. It's a new curriculum. I'm just really busy. Okay, we are all busy, you guys. We all have a ton of shit on our plate, and we get to decide what it is we want to do, right? And my school was so emotionally draining. I was teaching at a school that was about 45% of the population was homeless. 98% of them were free and reduced lunch, so a lot of poverty. And I was freaking drained. My hair was falling out. I was a B word all the time. Like I was just drained. And coaching, again, you guys, it's the thing you get to do or you have to do. It's your mindset of what you choose, right? So when I literally was dodging chairs all day and kids swearing at me and getting more failure of test scores, right? I could have gone home and been defeated and numbed out on Grey's Anatomy all night, but I chose because I got to plug into my challenge groups and find other coaches and recruit and things like that. So again, that mindset, you guys, where you get to or you have to, it changes the game on everything in your life, but especially in your business. So I decided, as that got harder, the dream of maybe being a full-time coach also was rising. And I was like, this sucks. Like I'm burnt out. I'm putting in all this effort. I'm not getting compensated for it. I'm stressed as can be. I don't know how many of you feel that way at maybe your current job. But I thought, you know what? I'll go to grad school. That'll really get it better. So I started grad school. So now I was teaching, grad school, coaching, and then hashtag all the other things in life, right? And I did one semester of it. And I was so still in the mindset, like, well, I have to stay a teacher. And finally, towards the end of it, and I started noticing my income with coaching was literally starting to grow, that it was the same cost. I paid for that semester of grad school in full, no problem, with zero debt. And every Monday night, I would drive to that class and I'd get a pit in my stomach. And it was like I was shoving down what I actually wanted to do because I thought I had to stay in this path. Like, why do we decide we have to be stuck in these paths, right? And then I saw the income and I was like, this is stupid. If I am going to quit and be a coach full-time someday and this income is matching, you know what I mean? Like it was dumb. So scary. I thought people would think I was a huge failure and my parents would be disappointed if I quit. I remember calling my mom at like 11:30. I was like, I'm going to quit grad school. She was like, cool, do whatever you want. So anyway, I decided I'll move schools. So I got my dream job. I know I'm a weirdo. My dream job is with 6th graders. I love me my weirdo middle schoolers, teaching like racial equity work at this school, the old school where I used to teach. It was a breeze. It was completely a different like demographic of like students who were, they had basic needs, right? So it was a dream job. But it still had that pit in my stomach. And, at this point, when I moved to that, I had gone in, I was a 1-star diamond coach at this time last year. So we were in 1-star qualification, me and one of my personally sponsored coaches, obviously, we were 1-star. And, or when I, was at the middle school. And I knew elite was a goal. And I knew 5-star was a goal. And in my head, I had said, this will be my last year teaching if. And I put myself with an if I can hit 5-star and if I can hit elite, because I knew that I wanted that income stability, as well as just really give it my all. So I gave it my freaking all. All right, my team gave it our freaking all. And last year, while working full time, while short stint in grad school, while all these things, getting engaged, moving in with my then, boyfriend and fiance, so many life changes, we went 5-star and elite. And it was so freaking cool. And it's one of those things, you guys, where you don't know what it feels like till you get there. And it is a freaking amazing accomplishment. So if elite's your goal, I need to see that in the comments in here because I want to see where my girls are who are working for that. But you guys, again, I could have chose that it was really hard, or I could have chose that it was doable, and it can happen. Your goals can happen. And if you place the limitations that, well, I'm a mom, or I'm over 40, or I'm not at my goal weight, then that will be where you're stuck, and you're never going to push past it, and you're never going to know where you end up. The thing that I really noticed that was the game changer for me in my business as I was doing this was 2-star diamond. Is there anyone on here who's pushing for 2-star? Or is like that like your quarter one goal? Okay, see a few hands. That should be, everyone put your hand up in the air. Yep, that's right. So you give when you have a middle school teacher. Okay, and I always make this, people just on Zoom. High five the person next to you. It's literally my favorite on Zooms. My team's like, can you not? Okay, you guys, if you want to build a side business, you can 100% run this as a side business, and you should be doing it as a 2-star diamond coach, because diamond is amazing, but diamond is a blip on the way to the good stuff. Diamond is a blip on the way to building the team that you actually want to have, that doesn't feel like you're dragging the team along. 2-star is the thing that opens up your eyes to the income piece of this, which again, do not feel selfish for wanting to be able to provide for your family, or go get a facial. Get to 2-star and earn those things, because it's going to open it up for you guys. And it should be your goal in 2019 to get to be a 2-star diamond team or above, because that is truly where the magic in this business multiplies. It's already magical in the beginning, but it becomes it's just a new level. Okay, so really quick, because me and Meg were talking about this before I got on the call, was like, okay, that's great. Like, that's very cool for you that like you're a psychopath and you win elite and 5-star. And it sounds like you worked really hard, but like, what did you do to get there, right? Because sometimes we hear that, right? And I really am going to pause really quick, and I just feel like I'm talking too much, but whatever. Here's the deal, you guys, is that those accomplishments are great, but at every single level of this business, you are going to have a moment, I'm going to swear here, where you fall on your I like how I said that one, but blurred the other one. But you're going to fall down and feel like the biggest failure of life. Okay, and I'm going to pause this really quick to talk about work afterwards. But on the Thursday, the 22nd, everyone's rank advancements for the last part of the year coming in, and you're so excited, and you see like, oh, this coach is in 15-star and this coach is in 11-star, whatever. Do you know what I was doing? Crying at my computer, because I had a huge goal of going 10-star this year, and it was my goal, and I felt like I was working so hard for it, and we'd get there, and last year we went 1-star to 5-star and elite, and we're going to do that again. Guess what? Lifetime 6-star right now, and I will end the year 5-star. Okay, my husband's account is going to be in 2-star, and my second is still in 1, but still, I was like crying at my computer like I'm the worst coach in the world. I went backwards this year. I didn't accomplish what it was I didn't want to do. But you know what, you guys? You're going to hit that at every single point in this business. And what I want to say to you now, because I know that there's one person on the call here who has felt that way, do not quit. Don't quit. Don't dare do that, because you don't actually know what it feels like to accomplish that goal yet. When we were working to become an elite in a 5-star team, and I'd see those people on stage at Summit, or you'd hear that, I didn't know what that felt like. And then I got there, and it was like, who else on my team can I help get to feel the same sense of accomplishment that I have right now? And as I sat on my computer and threw myself a freaking pity party, I put on my big girl pants. And then the next day I woke up and made a decision. I made a decision that I was freaking done with that, and that's it. And I said, from now on, bare minimum, I'm recruiting 11 coaches every single month, no matter what. And in December, I ended up with 12 new coaches, and they're kicking ass. Because I threw myself that pity party, I got the frick over it, and I got back up. So if you were on the fence with this, or you have a goal, you're going to fall down, you're going to cry, you're going to feel like crap. And guess what? Those other coaches in the network, or your upline on this call that you think like, well, they're 5-star, so they must feel, no, they cry randomly sometimes when they check their back office too. It's like it happens to all of us. But what I want to let you remember is that if you quit, or if you don't push yourself to get beyond diamond or get beyond 2-star, whatever it is, you know what it feels like to be exactly at the point that you're at right now. think about it like in your fitness. If any of you were 80-day obsessioners like I was, like I had done an all-in on a program, but honey, I went all in on 80-day obsession. And it was that next level where it's like, I didn't know what it actually felt like to finally, okay, let's be real, get Megan abs. Like, I still don't know how that feels, but that's still like, can I take your abs and put them on my vision board, Megan? Because that would be cool. But I just want to tell you guys, it's like, if you quit, you're never going to know. You already know what your life is like at this level, right? So what does, sorry, that was like very off track, but I'll get back on here. So what did the actual work part look like, you guys? It is in your inbox. It is in your inbox. You are not working if you're Insta-storying. You are not working if you are making a beautiful post. You're not working if you're making a graphic. And I know some of you right now are like, who is this girl? But you guys, none of those things, they are great. But like making a beautiful coach welcome does not drive my business forward. It does not make that coach be like, wow, she made me a great graphic to welcome me in the team page that half the team's gonna, you know, oh, who, you know what I mean? It's like, that doesn't matter, but the magic is in those invitations. So when I was working full-time as a teacher, and even now working this as my full-time business, I get up in the morning, I do my personal development, and I send my invites first. Every single day, those invites go out, even if it's just 5 of them. No matter what, those invites go out. If you're to a point in your business, if you've been sitting at diamond for a while, or if you're, you know, a strong emerald and maybe you want a little push, I highly suggest doing something like The Art of Recruiting with Josh Coates. If you've heard of him before, I'm a big fan of his. But do something or get a success partner who's actually going to show up and be like, did you send those 10 invites today? Because your inbox is where the magic is, and that's the actual real value driver, right? Those other things, you need to do them. They're the vital behaviors, but you've got to be getting in those invites. And that's where I spent most of my time. Sundays then and now still are my huge planning day. I set aside time to think of my content, what's going on in my calendar, what kind of posts do I need. I create those biggies so that they're somewhere, right? Or that I at least know what I'm doing, so that when I, you know, at the days of packing up the backpack and the lunchbox, I used to bring a cooler during 80-day obsession. I'd make Shakeology during my 4th hour in front of my English class. They loved it. It's like I would leave work and I would just go get those invites out, and I would get that ready to go because I didn't want to waste time with those other things that are great, but just not quite as important, okay? People ask me this anytime I tell them that, and for a very long time, for probably a solid year over that, I messaged, because I also want you guys to know, like, I'm not like a crazy, like, I have 45,000 Instagram followers. Like, I have like 5, I think. And when we went elite last year, I think I had like 1,000 followers, maybe. So, you know, I'm working on it, right? But I, no matter what, would not hit the pillow at night until I messaged 20 new people a day and invited 10. And I did that every single day, 7 days a week for an entire year. And that's what it took, I truly believe, to get to elite, to have the numbers, to have, you know, the coaches, to do that. So that is like my honest to God truth. Like, I still, like, last week it was fun having people come to me for Transform 20. And then this morning I woke up and I was like, shit, I gotta go message people again, right? So, but it's the value driver, and it's what's going to bring people. Last thing that I want to leave you guys with is kind of 2 things here. Sorry. One is that this business is just, it will always reflect the effort that you've put in at some point. Okay. And I know, like, you probably have heard not, if you have like the water pump example before, where like you're pumping one of those old school water pumps and no water's coming out and nothing's coming out. And you might have a drop, and you might have a drop, and then you might have a trickle. And then eventually it's coming for you, right? And you've got this rush of water. This business is a bazillion % the same thing. There are going to be times where you are pumping and pumping, and you're like, if I get one more person telling me how busy they are, I'm going to punch myself in the face, right? So it's like, that's going to happen. But your effort will always show up. And actually Megan's speaking on our call tomorrow, and Megan and I talked about this when we were in Vegas. Like, it's one of those things where, like, you guys, you missed the goals, right? You might miss them the first time. I missed 10-star this year. I wasn't even freaking close. I got to 6. I was not even close. But you know what? I know where it was, where I was missing, and my effort was reflected. It was still an amazing year. We locked in elite by June, you know, and, you know, those things happen, income's grown. But it's like, next year, you guys better find me at Summit and be like, you're walking across that stage at least a 10-star, Caitlin, because my effort is going to show this year to get our team to be that team. And it's always going to reveal itself. The main thing, you guys, that I've learned with this that I want to leave you with is to just not quit. And I know that that's not inspirational. And I know that that's not like, amazing coach came and she just told me not to quit. But that is, I've been in this for 3 years now, which is still a baby coach in this business. And the only thing that I really think that differentiates those who have success and get those accolades that you want, or those income goals or those rank goals or whatever, is just they kept taking action and they didn't quit. And they kept taking action and they didn't quit. Because it's the law of averages, and it's the compound effect, and it's the water pump. At some point, you're going to have to end up being successful. If you give zero effort, if you're messaging 2 people a day and only inviting 2 people to this business a month, you will take you a long time to get there. But you can do it. Your only limit is yourself on this, you guys. And you only really get this one shot, right? There's really nothing like this community. There's really nothing like the possibilities that coaching can bring for your life. I don't even know who I was 4 years ago. And if I was still in that classroom, it just baffles me. It completely baffles me of who this will allow you to turn into. And I'm going to leave you with one more thing. I know I said that 3 times now, but I can't help it. Last thing I'm going to leave you with, besides don't quit, is that my family, so I'm from Minnesota. Maybe you can hear the O in it. I live in Minneapolis, but my family has a small resort in northern Minnesota. And they have owned that resort for over 15 years now. It's been in our family forever. And it's been still family run from generation to generation. And my grandfather, Jerry, he ran it for a long time, and he worked super hard because it's a small business that you run yourself. It's a little different though. If the back office isn't working, we call tech. The toilets burst at a resort, my grandpa was going to fix them, right? And he worked so freaking hard. And it's where I get some of my work ethic from, or a lot of it from. And he worked so hard, and my grandma and him met when they were when she was 16. They met because she used to come to the resort, and they fell in love. She moved there, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And their whole plan, their whole life was that he was going to retire, pass it on to my uncles who are identical twins, and then they would go travel together. And they did. And they went and they started to travel together in his retirement until towards the end of one of their trips, my grandpa noticed a tremor in his hand. They got back to the cities. They went to Mayo, and he was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. And he's quite an anomaly in that he ended up having Parkinson's for 30 years, which is super unheard of. But he was not the same person. He, ended up forgetting people and who they were and who my grandma was. And I'm not trying to depress you, but what I'm trying to leave you with is that you get one freaking shot at your life, not just coaching. You get one freaking shot to be in this body, to be this person, to be on this earth. And I don't know about you, but when I think of my grandpa, I think of a hardworking, amazing family man who didn't get to live out the destiny that he thought he was going to get to have with his wife. And I'm sure as shit going to work my ass off every single freaking day with this business to create a life of freedom so that my husband and I don't have to wait till we're 65 to take that trip, or to go on that cruise, or do whatever it is that we want to do. And in those moments when it's really hard, in those moments when you wake up on a Thursday morning and you're crying because your rank isn't what it is that you wanted it to be, you put on your big girl pants, you get back to work, and you remember that you get to choose to do this and to make it into the best thing that you've ever done. So that's some of my inspo for you guys. I'll check the chat box, but otherwise, I don't really have anything else for you guys.
Holy moly, I've already gotten a message that one of my coaches loves you and has cried twice.
Oh,
So
good. I love making people cry. It's perfect. Usually it was like middle schoolers because I was so mean, but no, just kidding.
I love it. That is so
Does
awesome.
anybody have like questions though too? Because I'm very like, I'm super open book. So if anybody is like, wait, what about this or what about that? Like, I can totally do that too.
I
Or
have
Meg,
one.
if you have anything. Yeah.
I know it'll come up. So you talked about inbox, invites, that
Yeah.
type of stuff. One, where's your go-to place to
Yep.
invite people? And
Yep.
then number two, do you have a go-to message? Do you just whatever comes to your mind?
Yep. Yeah. So where do I go is kind of twofold, and it has evolved, but I'm also, so twofold. I would say now it mostly comes from Instagram, but remember, they're not pouring into me like someone who's got like 60,000 followers, right? So on Instagram, I do pay somebody to help grow my Instagram right now. I am using an assistant for that. So that is some transparency. And no matter what level you're at, guys, invest back in your business. Like that's been a good thing for me to do that. So, new followers on Instagram, people who are interacting. I do a lot of inviting, a ton. And I know you've heard this on a national wake up call through polls. So starting conversations by people who are just invited, like today I did a poll if you've read Girl Wash Your Face or not. And I have all these votes on it. And so what I will do to start new relationships, swipe up on that and I'll go see who's new, be like, oh my God, I saw you've also read that book. Like, I love Rachel Hollis, blah, blah, blah. So using Instagram in that way. I also do my best anytime I get a new challenger. I always make sure that we're friends on Instagram and friends on Facebook. And I am still a believer, like when people are like, my warm market is gone. I'm like, well, you can also milk it for a very long time because you can always create new like warm markets. So I always get them added on Facebook, or I'll also go to like that challenger's followers, and I'll maybe go to like 3 to 5 of those friends on either who they're following on Instagram or their friends on Facebook. Look at their cover photo, look through their friends. Do they look like they've got a wedding photo, dog, or whatever, and I will message them to make connections that way. I do not just blast cold message ever. I don't do the hey girl messages. I think that when I get them from like all the Monet girls and like Lip Sense, I ignore them and I'm like, decline. And if you do that and it works for you, great. It just doesn't work for me. So I find people through that way. And then I always tell my new coaches this, I do about 3 to 4 back and forth. So like, let's say it was this, like, oh my God, I love Rachel Hollis too. Like, when did you read her book? Oh, I read it in March. Awesome. Were you able to get tickets to Rise? I was so bummed. It sold out and I live in Minneapolis. No, I didn't either. I know it'd be so fun to go see her someday, right? Totally. Like, I love them. Okay, maybe that's 4 or 5 back and forths. My invites are casual as can be. They're always like, maybe we've had those 4 back and forths and I track them just super, super, super simply in a Google Doc or a Google Sheet. My invites are pretty much always like hey, Sarah, it was fun chatting with you about a Girl Wash Your Face. I'm wondering if you've actually seen any of my posts about these accountability groups that I run. I just feel like you and I have super similar energy and we actually do a lot of personal development in our groups, like that Rachel Hollis group, on top of, focusing on clean eats and workouts. Would you be into that? They're always super, super casual. The other thing that I get a ton of response on with polls on Instagram, I just did this today, actually just sent this like exact message to my team, was how many of you by show of hands accidentally vote on stuff on Instagram sometimes? You're like, oh shit. Yep, every single one of us. So do all of your followers. So I'm a sneaky little girl and I tend to like to make my like voting like a little bit bigger so I get accidental clicks. Sorry, not sorry, right? And then what I do is with these new people that are voting on these polls or whatever, is I will send them a message like, hey, Caitlin, I saw your vote. This is actually what I did today. Some of my invites today were like this, because I did something about Transform 20, like the hybrid calendar. And it was something like, I want info on that, or I need this or whatever. And I had like 50 people on one side and like 50 on another. And so when I send them it, I'm like, hey, Caitlin, like I saw your vote on my poll the other day about that hybrid workout calendar and maybe wanting a little bit more structure. Did you want information on that, or was that an oh shit moment and you accidentally clicked that vote? Just wanted to check either way so I don't miss you. And guess what people do? They respond every time when it's an oh crap, because they are like, oh my God, like otherwise they're going to ignore you. Like, hey girl, I saw your vote on my poll. They're like, cool, bye. So did all the Lip Sense girls and everybody else, right? What I have found with that, was it an oh crap vote, is that people will respond back like, oh my goodness, yes it was. I'm so sorry. Like, you know, but my Christmas plans are great or whatever. And then you're in the conversation. You know what I say back? Awesome, Caitlin, like no problem. I do that all the time on Instagram too. Do you already have a routine down for your fitness and nutrition that you're loving? And then I'll go back to like, what are your plans for Christmas? Because you just opened up a conversation to have a conversation about what you offer. And so like 4 girls I was talking to today were like, actually, like I really don't like my routine, or like, you know, whatever. And then you're into a conversation about, is that working for you or not? And keeping it really casual. So it's not just Instagram polls, but I go to friends of friends, build those relationships there. And then as far as coaching goes and inviting to coaching, I take signing up people as customers or a DC by case. I am not someone who signs everybody up as a DC. I know you hear that a lot, and a lot of coaches do that. I just take it case by case. And part of that is because of being someone who earned, you know, the Success Starter. I don't want them to lose that if they did want to coach. But what I do, I can say that to you guys, you're not middle schoolers, they laugh at that, is I invite them to coaching within the first week, no matter what. So within that first week, I'm like, oh my goodness, like you are rocking this challenge group. This is so much fun with you. How are you feeling? You know, I'm wondering, Sarah, so I just keep seeing on the Zoom. Have you thought about coaching like I do? I think that it would be so fun for you if you like learned how to do this as a side business like I did too, and stay accountable to your goals. So I pretty much get my best coaches from my challenge groups. But again, everybody does it different. Do what works for you. But that's kind of my 2 things as far as inviting goes. Did I answer both questions? I forgot because I'm not shutting up, but I'm sorry. I hope that's helpful. Where are you inviting the people coming from? Yeah. How do you make your invites? Just be you. Like literally, like I'm a cusser. Like I will cuss in my messages, like that. Like, oh, was that an oh shit? Like, and just, I always say this to my coaches too. Like just don't be weird. Like if you don't want to make it weird, like just don't make it weird. If you want to make it casual, make it casual. And the other thing is, you guys, is like, we hype up these invites so much more than everybody else. Because what do we do all day? We sit on social media. We sit in our messages, right? Like you've just got to get over the fear of inviting or thinking someone's going to think you're weird. If somebody doesn't care, they're going to say no or ignore you and forget about it within a week. The main thing is, you guys, is if you're not doing personal development on an abundance mindset, find it. Because it's like, it used to scare me when people would say no. I'd be like, I'm not going to get anyone. And now I'm like, okay, bye, boo. Like, you know, we'll go through rejections and price and all of that. Then I put them on a list and I go find someone who's ready to do it. Same thing with coaching. One of my diamond coaches quit this week and I was like, okay, let's go find someone new. Like, it's like, what are you going to do? You're going to sit and cry over it and try to beg them to be there? No, let's go find someone who wants to do it with you. You know what I mean? So, just don't be weird. Just be you. Like if you love emojis, then send emojis. If you, I don't know, whatever it is, if you're very formal, then be very formal. Just make it exactly how you would have a conversation with someone and people will see it. And then it's awesome. And get them on the phone if you can, because it's like people, it's so much quicker. And especially when you're talking about coaching. Hashtag don't be weird.
I love it. I love it. I think that's all the questions that I'm seeing.
Yes, I think so too, unless anybody has anything else. Who's all going to Summit? Raise your hand. Yes. It's going to be so good. Speaking of Rachel Hollis, I can't wait. Make sure you guys all run up and give me a hug. Are you walking? I'll be to you too. Like, what did you walk across stage as?
I love it. I love it. All right, Caitlin. Well, thank you so much.
Yes,
We
thanks,
so
guys.
appreciate this. I've got it recorded so I can shoot you the recording and then I will have it up for my girls tomorrow. So
Perfect. And I'll see you tomorrow, Meg.
okay, sounds good. Can't wait.
All right, girls, have a great week. Let me know if you need anything. Just shoot me a message. So,
All right. Thank you.
bye, guys.
Bye.